Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Beyond Loss, Loving Life with Karen Chaston. As you can see, I'm Karen Chaston, and in my loft today, I have the beautiful Kuvi Jensky Bradley. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Hey, right, Kuvi. Let's deep dive into everything about you and everything about Moving Beyond Loss, because as everyone knows, I love to help people to understand that there are over 40 different loss events that can affect all of our lives. And in that process, most of us have never been taught how to move beyond loss. But Kuvi also helps people with the emotional code. But before we get into that, I want to deep dive into you.
Okay.
So, are you Australian?
No, I'm an import.
An import?
Yes.
Come on, tell us about your journey then.
You know, I haven't really thought about it, but as we've had discussions about loss, I obviously lost my country, really, because I was taken out of that environment at the age of 9.
So what was your country?
I was born in the Czech Republic, in the most beautiful city in the world.
I've been to Prague. I've been to Prague, and we did love Prague.
Yeah, it is. It's just magical. And you don't really, I never even thought of it, but all my belongings as I was a little girl, all my little trinkets, all my little treasures, they stayed. I was only allowed to take one doll with me. So I didn't know, because I was only going on holiday. I didn't know that I was never going to return.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess your parents, so obviously as an Australian, so let's deep dive into this.
Sure.
As an Australian who's always lived in Australia, sure, I've visited other countries. Tell me about the fact of living in Prague. Like, as a 9-year-old, did you realize that it was a communist country?
Times were very different.
Yeah.
We didn't have the same sort of communication as you do here today. I mean, the children are more aware today at the age of 9 that I ever did. I was still playing with dolls at 12.
Yeah.
So I was just a child living in the street. Every night we'd be out and playing in the backyards, and you'd be playing in the park with all the other kids from the whole block.
So you never felt deprived? You never felt that you didn't have enough?
No, because my parents always made us feel like we had everything we needed.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yes. I never felt like I didn't have anything. We've always had food on the table, lots of cousins, lots of relatives.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But you and I, because we've obviously been friends for a while now, and we have many occasions where we go and share a meal together. But you always make the comment that you never waste food.
Yes.
So I love that. Now, why is that?
Because we're brought up that you value things, whether it's food, clothes, what you own, your home, your car, that you value what you've got. And if you can't eat it all, then just take it home, because you can have it later.
Yes. And that's a great mentality, because let's face it, we live in the times where our meals are way too big.
Oh, huge. They're double the size that, we should only be eating half the meals that they provide in cafes and restaurants.
Yes.
They're just too big.
Yes. So you always take it home, which I love, and you eat it for afternoon tea or for the next meal.
Next day. Even the next day is for lunch.
Yes.
If I can't eat it, and then that way I've got lunch for the next day.
Okay. So I love that, because we do live in a world where we do waste so much. Okay. So you came to Australia at 9. Did you?
No, by the time we got to Australia, I was 12.
Okay. So tell me about that 3-year journey. Where did you go?
Well, it was a long journey. Well, we first arrived. Mum and Dad actually escaped. They left. So hence that's why they never told me anything. I was only allowed to take one doll with me.
Well, there wouldn't be a game to tell you in case you told someone.
Children talk.
Yes.
So, and we went to the south of France. We went to Caen, because that's where my mum's eldest sister lived with her husband and my cousin. I fell in love with that part of the world.
I've never been there. It sounds amazing, though.
It feels really calming when I go and visit. So we went there. For whatever reason, it didn't work out. So I believe after so many months, we went then to live in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And we lived in Germany for 2 years, which I then went to boarding school. Both my brother and I went to boarding schools, and mum and dad had jobs. So they were just, quite happy. And again, I don't know why, but they felt coming out of a communist country and being so close to the Czech Republic, they were scared that stuff would happen. So they just went, no, we're going to emigrate. And they chose Canada, America, and Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And then so Australia accepted Dad because of his skills. He was a master in his field in the steel industry. So they said, "Yep, come on down." So we emigrated, and we came, and I came to Sydney because Sydney was where the steel factories were, where they needed his skills. And
wow, I love this. Okay, but we do have people who are also tuned in. So hello, Mary Ann. Hi, Mike from California. Thanks for being here. And yes, Mike, you're right. We do actually rely on way too much. Okay, now, Roz, we don't give intuitive messages. Well, we probably give intuitive messages, but not spiritual messages because we're on the spiritual network. So welcome and great to see you here. But what Beyond Loss Loving Life with Karen Chasen is all about is I love to help people to understand how they can actually move beyond any kind of loss. And thank you. Would love some guidance. Okay, Marianne, just type in what sort of guidance that you actually would like, because both Kuvi and I are similar but very different. So we help people to move beyond loss. Kuvi works with the emotional code, and she is also about to become a
clinical hypnotherapist.
Right.
Because the two are a great fit.
Yeah. So but we're going to come to that because at the moment you came to Australia when you were 12.
Yes.
And did you speak English?
No.
Okay.
I spoke fluent Czech, German, and I spoke French.
Wow. And I have to ask you, because I always ask this, how do you dream? In what language?
Now I'm dreaming in English.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So is it more the common language that you're using? Is that what assists you to dream? Like you just flow on from the language that you're using day to day?
I never really paid attention to what language I was talking in.
Yeah.
But since you've been asking me, and I'm going, no, it's definitely English.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that.
Definitely
okay.
English.
That's just a little thing of mine. Okay. So Joanna has just said, I love visiting the Czech Republic. Prague is amazing. And I do have to say that. Yeah.
Yes, I have a soft spot because I
know.
come from there. But yeah, I feel very blessed too.
In 2018, we went there because my son is married to a Polish lady, and he had two weddings, one in Poland and one in Australia. And my girlfriend, Kaz, and I then caught a train from somewhere in
Poland.
Yeah, in Poland. I was just trying to think. No, it wasn't Warsaw. It was the other one. The one that was originally the capital. Starts with a K, but anyway, it'll
Krakow.
come. Yeah,
No.
Krakow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from Krakow, we caught a train to Prague, and it was amazing.
Yeah, the scenery would have been
Yeah,
stunning.
and it was so funny, it rained the whole time we were in Poland, and which was unusual because it was in late July, so you would have thought that it would be fine. But anyway, it rained the whole time we were there, and then as soon as the train literally went, okay, we're now in the Czech Republic, it flined up. And it was fine the whole time we were there.
Cool.
And we were there for 4 days. So, yeah, it was amazing. But anyway, so you've done a lot in Australia. You've done a lot of traveling and stuff like that. But I'd like you to share with everyone what you do.
Okay. I've been involved with energy work for, I can say 30 years.
Yeah.
Yes, it's 30 years. And over the last probably 10 years, a modality called the emotion code has come along in my path. I took it on, and now I specialize in helping people release their blockages from their heart, because so many people block themselves off, shut themselves down because of an event that's happened.
Yeah.
So I release the emotions from their physical body, from their DNA, because a lot of it is ancestral.
Mm-hmm.
And if they have children, we release it from their children because it's linear.
Okay, let's talk about the ancestral emotional code, because obviously what I do is I help people to move on from any kind of loss, but it's loss in this lifetime.
Yes.
And I do that through a deep dive into them. Not an easy process, but we'll go from there. And we will come back to the notes because everyone looks really engaged today. So
Yes.
Thank you for that. So we will definitely do that. So let's talk about us carrying emotions that are ancestral. Why are we doing that?
Because we don't even know.
Yeah, but
We don't
why
know.
do we carry? Is it just in our DNA? Is it? Explain that.
When, for example, a client comes to me to say they're working on depression, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying to me, you know, I just feel this heaviness and I'm just this, and I don't know why I'm feeling depressed, why it's coming on. So once I start peeling off the layers and asking them questions, and we're releasing the emotions, and you actually ask the subconscious mind and communicate with the subconscious mind, you discover that because people that have major issues in their life, it is inherited in their DNA. Now, the deeper that I go, we find it's not just one generation. It goes back 20, 30. I've gone as far as 38 generations ago on the male side to release an emotion. So when a client has, you know, big depression problems, they're going, oh my gosh, now I understand, because it's not me. It's because I've inherited all these symptoms and all these emotions so long ago. And every generation adds on and adds on and adds on. And then it becomes this huge thing. And we're blessed that we have a modality in this lifetime that really gets to the core. So you're releasing that emotion from that generation, however many ago, and it's released. You're helping all of them along the way, every single person.
And so when we release it from our DNA, it is also released from our children and our future generations, which is amazing. So, and that's what I love about the fact that we're so similar but different.
Yes.
Because when I help people to deal with their emotions so that they're not carrying it through into their DNA, like they're releasing it.
Yes.
Because emotions are energy in motion, but we get them stuck because we haven't really been taught for centuries and centuries and centuries, thousands and thousands of years, to just move on.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Get over it.
Get
over
over it. Exactly. Okay, let's go to some comments. And thank you, everyone. Let's go back here. Good morning. Yep, Joanna loves to check her. Okay, Miranda. Okay, I never thought that moving a lot as a child would affect me so much as an adult. Loss affects us all. It really does.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because
absolutely.
Yeah. Not only did you leave behind your friends and but you left behind a culture.
Yes.
You came to a new culture and we don't understand it. And moving is definitely one of the 40 plus loss events. Moving country is even huger than just moving house. Or moving, you know, within the same country. You're bringing so much with you. But it is a loss, and you've obviously dealt with it. So have you done the emotion code on yourself?
Yes, yes.
And did that come up?
Absolutely.
Did that come up?
Not as much as you would assume.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've been working on myself since I was about 25.
That's
so
what I love.
I've worked on myself. I've never stopped. So I've dealt and released. And obviously with the emotion code, that's the first thing I did, work on me to release whatever was blocking me so that I can then be better for my clients.
Yes.
And I'll be able
and
to.
I love that. And I've done so much work on myself. And it's not easy, is it?
Oh, no. And I'm still dealing with things. And, you know, things come up.
Yeah. But because they come up, you can then release them. Okay. Thank you, Janet, about my question around dreaming. Okay, Marianne. Suppressed grief 35 years ago, lost my mum. Hubby does fly in, fly out.
Mm.
Yeah, I can totally understand it. Marianne, I suggest you reach out to either of us because we both can assist you with that so that you can create a life that you live and love every day. Good morning, LeGray. Nice to see you here again. Okay, Jeanette. Yes, I was traumatized for years as my family did not tell me anything about moving home. Oh, wow.
Okay.
So, yeah, Jeanette was in a similar situation to you, a little bit older, just finished year 9, so she would have probably been 13, 14. Yes. Wow, Jeanette. Okay, so let's move in. Let's have a look at some of the emotions that would have that Jeanette probably would be maybe holding.
Well, with that sort of trauma, I would delve straight into the blockages of the heart. And
Okay.
that is the main focus. You know, my mission is to heal one heart at a time and change the whole planet.
Yeah.
And that would be an area that we would go deep into, work out what the intensity is, and then start releasing the emotions that are associated with that particular.
So list some of the emotions that may have been associated. Would there be a bit of?
Oh, there'd be anger, there'd be loss, there'd be trauma, there'd be, you know, abandonment, a heartache.
Yeah, they just
all of those come up. And, you know, the thing is, people don't sometimes know why they're feeling this way until they go, okay, I need to heal myself.
Yeah.
And then all this comes up.
And the loneliness.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Jeanette.
Thank you.
I really appreciate that. Hi, Penny. Miranda. Okay. So, yeah, a lot of child effect, so much as an adult. Yeah. And it does, Miranda. And that's why I love the world we live in, as you said earlier. The fact that we can heal our past. It's not easy, though.
No, you have to be prepared to face what you need to face, but you just feel better, and it's the peace of mind for you. It's not about anybody else. When you have this feeling of, oh God, it's, you know, I can release it, I can let it go, then you feel better. Hence, your health is better, and it's about you healing you.
Yes,
that's what it
I
is.
Agree. And you feel so much lighter.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of people say, God, I feel like, you know, I've been carrying all this baggage on me. Ugh.
Yeah.
And then they go, oh.
I love that. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to Casey, I think. Then I went on. Joanna. Okay, we've missed you. Right. My husband lost his father in a car accident when he was 5. Okay. Well, we're both going to have a different answer.
Yes.
So you go.
Again, I would be, you know, communicating with the person, talking to them, having a one-on-one session, and depending on, because there's always more than one thing. So, but if blocking themselves from, you know, I mean, it reflects everything, even the way they work, what sort of job that people get. If they're not facing.
Yeah, if you're depressed, there's no way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, whereas Joanna, and, you know, Kuvi can heal all the emotions and stuff like that. I work differently, as in I do the deep dive into them, which is what he would do. But I'd also assist him to find the gift in the loss, okay? Now, I totally understand losing your father at any age, especially at such a young age, is traumatic, and it is never, ever easy. But there is a gift in who he has become because of his father not being in his life. I am sure that he probably would have taken more responsibility or been there and done this. And we all have a life plan. Okay. And I know it's not easy, but we have a life plan. And I'm sure that one of his goals in this life was to learn to be who he is, to overcome this traumatic event in his life. And through guidance and through healing, he can move beyond the depression and the chronic illness. And it's funny, before we came on air today, Kuvi and I were looking at this book. I'll just go get it, which is great. Which is, Ina Segal's. And I love this book, and I refer to it a real lot because it does highlight the emotions and how your body is so connected to your emotions. So when you, with your husband, start looking up some of his chronic things in something like this.
Absolutely.
And it relates back to, oh, yeah, he is feeling this way. And for some of them, you get a remedy and things to say and all that sort of stuff. And I totally understand that some men are like, no. But it is about looking at your body is talking to you, and your body is actually saying this requires healing. And when you heal, as Kuvi said, your whole perspective will change. Your whole outlook will change, and you will start to live and love your life, which is why my show is called Beyond Loss, Loving Life. I hope that helps, Joanna, but reach out to both of us. Our details are above this post, and I'll post them later. Hi, Gay. Okay, Casey is saying that her heart feels scared from so much emotional upset and anger.
Well, I thought that one of the things that I absolutely adore and love of what I do is the fact that you do not have to say anything to me. We don't discuss the trauma. We deal with the symptom and we release the emotions. So, like sometimes you go to someone and you talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. Well, no, I do not talk about it.
No, you don't.
We just deal with straight out what the challenge is, what the problem is, release the emotions. And I find that works for a lot of people because they don't want to revisit a trauma. They don't want to remember what had happened. And, it's beautiful because it's gentle, it's loving, it's caring way of releasing all the blocks, all the stuff that's gone on.
It is.
It is.
And it is a bit like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's very subtle.
It is very subtle.
It's very subtle. And it works brilliantly on kids. It's just amazing how fast they respond.
Yeah. And that's what you want. You always want your kids to be okay. Okay. So next one is we have is when we share. Yeah. Thanks, Jeanette. Thank you, Joanne. I will call you Joanne. Okay, Casey. Yeah, it's funny, when we don't speak our truth, Casey, it really does come out in so many different ways. I was also sharing earlier today with Kuvi that a lady who I'm working with, her husband passed from throat cancer. And, and your throat, your voice is so important. And when we shove things down and we don't say what we really want to say, it does come out in disease because we're not letting the emotions flow.
Exactly. That you're so right. So right. Because our body reflects the emotions, what we're thinking about, what we're doing, how we are. If something is unresolved, then it's the dis-ease of the physical body. And when the body starts talking to us, if you don't listen, it's going to start screaming.
Yeah.
And the dis-ease comes from, not dealing with the emotions and not healing them, not resolving them.
Okay. So thank you, Miranda. Okay, Marianne, that's interesting. This is the only book I have of Ina Segal. So now I'll look into more of them. And Marianne also says, is it like theta healing the emotion code?
No,
Okay, so
no.
sort of explain it.
Theta healing is communicating. Emotion code is you are releasing the emotion from the physical body. It's coming out of your DNA. We find out which generation of the ancestor had that particular symptom come up, and we're releasing it from the physical body with we're all magnets, just with hand.
Yeah.
It's a simple and gentle.
Like, say for example, so we can explain it to the ladies. I come to you for what sort of symptom?
I've had depression.
Okay, let's say that. Okay, so I'm biting my nails.
Yes.
Okay, so I come to you and I say I'm biting my nails. What would you do?
We have an initial consultation. We talk a little bit. I just need to know, about the nail biting. We find out what is the intensity out of 100. And then,
so you ask me what intensity out of 100 is?
I communicate with the body.
Okay,
communicate
so you ask
with
the body.
Oh yeah.
Okay, right.
So I communicate with the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind knows exactly what are the emotions and when it all started. And we immediately start communicating with the body and start asking it yes or no questions.
Okay, back a step. How do you communicate with my subconscious?
Well, I connect to you.
Yeah. Okay. So I
use a pendulum.
Thank you. That's what we needed. Yep.
I use a pendulum.
Yep. I have a pendulum here as well. My little pendulum.
And I
got a little pendulum.
Ask the subconscious mind yes or no questions, and then I obviously have a chart, and we start asking the body what are the highest needs for the emotion to be released at that time.
Okay, cool. So it's through this. This is what we do. Is this helping ladies to understand how Kuvi works? I'm sure we'll get an answer. Okay.
Guess you forget because I'm doing it all the time.
Yeah, I know. That's what I want to explain to it. Okay. Is it done in person or online? Yes.
Both.
Yes.
It's both. 99% of my clients are all over the world. So I do everything online, and I can connect with you like this. Like this. Through Zoom.
Through Zoom is the best way. Okay.
With children, only I take a photograph of the child. I have a photograph of the child. I never see them face to face.
Okay. Is there a reason why?
Yes, because when you're dealing with the little ones that are 2 years old, there's no way
so let's explore that.
Cope.
What sort of trauma would a 2-year-old? Obviously they're carrying DNA past, but also the traumatic of being born, all that sort of stuff. So what sort of symptoms?
Sleeplessness. They're not sleeping. They're really hypertensive. Sensitive. They're afraid of going to the toilet. They don't like the dark. All sorts of things.
Would you be able to help a child that doesn't want to sleep in their own bed?
Yes, I'm working on one right now.
Oh, good. You may have another one to work on, my grandson.
Yeah, and you don't think people don't understand that the sheer trauma of being born, that memory is locked into their subconscious mind, and they are remembered if they've had a traumatic birth.
Yes,
and I've been dealing with mums who then are going, all these things, and it's just. People don't realise.
So you could work on the child without them, because obviously
they don't need to be here
energetically.
No.
Okay, but you'd need the permission of the parents.
Of course, yeah.
Yes.
The parents have to give me information. I need certain information. Obviously, permission. It's permission. I never would work on anyone without their permission.
No. Of course
Especially
not.
children until the age from 18 onwards. The child makes up their own mind.
Yeah.
But below less than 18, parents' permission.
Okay, cool. Yeah. This is fun. Oh, we've still got half an hour to go. So I'd like you to share some stories, obviously not names, the different sort of, I guess, common and then not so common things that people have come to you for.
Well, I was surprised when the person came to me with nail biting. That was quite interesting.
I used to bite my nails when I was younger.
Yeah.
That's probably why I have nails.
And it's amazing, that the person just is you could see it on, and it was actually a man. It wasn't a lady. It
Okay.
was a man that came to me because he said, I don't like it. I don't want to do that anymore. And he was like, I don't even feel like doing that anymore. It's just gone. And, you know, you just.
So how many sessions was that?
It's a package of 3.
Yeah. And I think is it normally a package of 3? You won't
Yeah.
work with people under 3?
Well, if you're dealing with a hard blockage, then you're working with me for about 2 months.
Okay, right.
And
So,
that's
yeah.
it's a completely different.
Yeah, but that would be a
ballgame.
lot of emotions. It wouldn't just be one emotion.
Oh gosh,
you're
no.
releasing
Yeah,
in that
no.
time. Okay. So you work with people for 3 sessions, and so someone who is depressed. Okay. What sort of how would you help them, and what sort of changes would they see within themselves?
Well, a lot of the changes are subtle.
Okay.
Because I've had one lady, beautiful lady. She was one of the oldest ladies I worked on. Well, she was like in the late 70s, and she was like, Kuvi, I don't feel anything. You know, after we've completed. And then suddenly she would say, gee, that cousin doesn't bother me anymore, and my daughter doesn't get under my nose anymore, and I'm noticing I'm a lot more comfortable. I don't have a problem going out. And I'm like, so you don't have any changes? And they don't realize it because it's so subtle. But when we start talking about it, she's like, yeah, that, girlfriend doesn't bother me when she says things. And it's like, and I just feel joy because, it's so rewarding.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, let's more questions. So on Dawn, yes. Thank you, Jeanette. Michelle, that was me. Okay. What about a tween when brain is wired differently and gets frustrated easily? Isn't that every teen?
What about a tween? What's a tween?
I think a tween is younger, like from 9 till teenagers, 9 to 12.
Okay. When the brain is wired differently and gets frustrated easily. Okay, then you need then obviously would need a little bit more information, but it's what is the core problem here? What is it? Why is that child getting frustrated? There could be something else. There could be maybe
so you would ask
challenge.
So you would ask their subconscious these questions.
Well, how would you do it? I would be asking the parents a little bit more, few more questions to really pinpoint
what makes them frustrated. What's the incident that happens?
Yeah.
So you deep dive into that. Like, does it happen when X happens, or does it happen when Y happens? All those. So you get the different scenarios that makes them frustrated,
and then we can work out. Okay, that's the real reason. Then, okay, what is the intensity? And then we start releasing the emotions from whatever that situation is.
Okay, fair enough. And then as we said, it could be theirs that they're carrying, or it could be past generations.
It could be a reflection of what's going on with the house, in their environment, school, all sorts of different things. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, tell me about another most unusual one. Because we've got
okay.
Time.
I've had, oh gosh, I'm getting a lot of people with depression and things. God, I should have looked at my list. I've got my statistics is this long because what I've started doing ever since I've started working with this, I keep stats. So it makes it really easy to then refer and
so have you found with 2020 with our pandemic and everything that's been going on, have you found that people are more open to coming to you to talk about their emotions, or are they just the same? Like you haven't seen
there's been a lot of people asking about it, inquiring about it, and then deciding, okay, I can see how it would benefit to help me. A lot of people are scared.
Okay.
But it's
what are they scared of?
The unknown.
Okay. Yep, I can get that.
And because it is a totally different thing. You know, they're not just going to a psychiatrist or they're not going to a psychologist. They're going to see someone who is actually helping them with.
Yeah, and deep dive into them. Yeah, yeah. Which is, you know, and you know, when I work with people, I'm different to a psychologist and a psychiatrist because I literally want you in and out.
That's right.
I only work with you for a very short amount of
That's
time.
right.
I get to the crux of it and we move on and you're healed.
And that's
Because
my focus.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to see you in 10 years' time. Like, no.
No.
Let's get on with this. You know, unless it's a different issue where they come to me to see.
Yeah.
One issue, we release it, heal it, it's gone. If it's something totally different again, then that's a different story. But not for the same symptoms, regurgitating the same thing over and over and over. We heal it, that's it, done.
Thank you, Jeanette. I can understand you got to go. Watch the rest of the recording when you come back. Okay. Any more questions, everyone? Because it's so fascinating.
It is.
Okay. I want the most unusual reason why someone's come to you.
A gentleman has come to me. He was a bit skittish. So we had to really help into which part of the body and then start communicating with that part of the body to release the emotions.
And was it his mind that was skittish?
Yes, it was his
mind.
Okay.
So what did you find as you spoke to his subconscious?
I purely released the emotions that are associated to that symptom.
So how did that change his life then?
Oh, he just felt more focused.
Yep.
He felt like he was able to work from within.
Yep.
Without sort of, constantly seeking approval from others.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I was going to say validation. That's interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
he could more decisive?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. So therefore he could actually take control of his life instead of giving it over to other people by the sounds of it. Wow. That's and that now see, someone being skittish, you would probably just think, that's just the way I am. You know what I mean? You wouldn't actually go, I can heal this. That's what I love about what you do, because you're actually taking anyone who would go, I'm just, that's just the way I'm wired. That's just it. You can actually go, no, you don't have to be wired that way. We can actually, and it's not a rewiring, but it's actually just a removal of what's blocking you and stopping you from being the person that you want to be.
And that's what I find fascinating, after doing this now for almost 6.5 years, that, the big things that people come to see me for, it's ancestral, it's inherited. And I'm going, oh my gosh. And a few of the people, both men and women, said, I just can't believe that all these symptoms are not mine. Because
why am I carrying these around?
Well, because they think it's them.
Yeah, of course.
They always assume it's them. And they're going, wow, I didn't even inherit this abandonment emotion or loss or heartache. It was something that's been passed on from generation to generation and then finally got to me, and I'm so in this life because, it just increases intensity every time it's being passed on in another relative and another relative and another relative.
So is this something that you could have done as a child, like for your children, to release? You can like inherent DNA that may hold them back. I don't know.
We would have to pick on a particular thing. Like if
so
maybe
we'd wait till they started to, I don't know, say they were scared of something.
Yeah, then we would look at the fear, and then we would look at, okay, what is that child scared of? What is the fear of? And then we can peel the layers off.
Okay.
And it just frees them up.
Yeah.
It makes them, a lot easier.
Because a lot of kids are shy.
Yeah.
So would you go, and, my sister's children are really shy. Like they're even now nearly 40 and they're still very shy. I know. And I'm like, no, you got to confidently go up and say hello to people and shake their hands and stuff like that.
And also you could look at it and say, okay, they're shy, but why? What happened?
Mm.
We can look at the intensity of the shyness and say, okay, what are the emotions that we need to appeal for them just to go, that shyness is, and it would just help them to go and walk up to someone and
Yeah.
say hello, or
Because it
just
holds them
talk.
back, like in
That's-
so many areas, being
Absolutely.
shy. To confidently be able to walk up and talk to someone and get a job and ask and all those sort of things.
Give them the confidence.
Yeah, that's what's really important. Okay,
Mm.
cool. Right. What else are we going to share, Kuvi?
What else would you like to know?
Okay, so let's have a look here. What about the tweens? Okay, so Miranda says, I feel so empowered to have broken a family cycle. Okay, Miranda, you want to expand on that, on how and what the family cycle is, if you choose to, obviously.
Well, with every
Yep.
single person that comes to me is breaking a cycle.
Yes.
Because they're stopping whatever has happened to them. They're stopping it from happening if they have children, or if they choose
Yep.
to have children.
Yep.
So that particular symptom has stopped. So they're not passing on the trauma, the depression, the nail biting, the blockages, the fear,
Okay, so
sleeplessness.
yeah, so I get that. So I'm one of 7 children, right? So when I clear the DNA, do I clear it from my nieces and nephews as well, or just from my direct
Purely
children?
your lineage.
Purely my lineage.
Your lineage.
Okay, right. Well,
That
that's good to be
Other
clear.
relatives would have
To do
to
it.
decide if that's what they wanted to do. They would
Yep.
work on themselves.
Okay,
It doesn't go sideways, it goes linear.
okay.
So it's you and your children.
We're frozen.
Oh.
Are we? Okay, keep talking because I
That's right.
think we're frozen. Hopefully
Right.
it'll
I'll
come
have
back.
a glass of water, have a drink of water so we can't.
Hopefully it'll come back. What's going on? Okay, it looks like for some reason we have frozen. Okay, I'm not sure if we're still talking, but let's keep going and hopefully it'll come back.
So it is linear. So,
Okay.
with you, if you have children, so if you decide that you
Okay. Looks like we're back. Not sure what happened there. I can't hear you, ladies. Right, can you hear us now?
Yes.
If someone can type in, sorry about that. My computer just decided to go for a deep dive.
Yes.
And that's okay. So, Kuvi, what were we talking about? That's right. We're talking about the lineage, the sideways, not the up and down. Hello again. Hi, Miranda. We're back. Yay. Hi, Beth. I think that's why you rang me. Okay. So we've still got 15 minutes. Let's keep chatting.
Yeah, so it's linear. If I work on, say, for example, you come to me with blockages of the heart because you've had trauma. When I work on you, it won't affect your brothers or sisters because it's sideways, but I'm working on you. But if you have children, so we ask, has this particular emotion, say abandonment, has that emotion been passed on to your children? And if it says yes, then you say, and if they have children, you go, has it been passed on to their children?
Okay.
And if it says yes, then you're releasing it from all of you.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you, our DNA that we carry now goes back to our ancestors. How about our different lives?
Well, it does. It does affect, because I must admit, over the time, probably in the last 12 months, because I've been doing so many of them, I'm getting a lot of visions for my clients.
Oh.
And especially when we're working with the heart, where it originated, what happened, where was the timeline that particular emotion came in.
Keep going.
And that's right.